Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Please take a minute to hit the thumbs up on this video. You're about to listen to Nick Saban's Wednesday SEC teleconference, where Coach Saban previews Chattanooga, talks about the chemistry between Tommy Rees and the offense, and talks about the overall development of Jalen Milroe. This is coming up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube.
Good morning, Coach. Next up on the call is Alabama. Coach Nick Saban, the Crimson Tide will play Chattanooga Saturday at 11 a.m. Central Time on SEC Network Plus, ESPN Plus. To ask a question for Coach Saban, please press 10 on your telephone keypad now. Coach, while I wait on questions, please take a moment to comment on your team as you enter the game against Chattanooga.
Yeah, well, I think the most important thing is for our team is to continue to focus on the things that we need to do to improve, to sort of build on the improvement that we made, the momentum that we've created in the past several games, and have the proper respect for the team that we're playing. This is a good offensive team and one of the best teams in their division. Offensively, their defense is very disruptive and aggressive and play hard. So always got to technically look at the challenge that you got and get prepared the right way for it.
First question is from Kennington Smith of The Athletic.
Good morning, Coach. Hope you're doing well. The offense has steadily improved over the last few weeks. Seems like the players are gaining confidence. How have you seen the relationship and the chemistry grow between Tommy Rees and the players, and maybe how that's manifested itself on the field?
Well, I think the chemistry between Tommy and the players has always been good. I think that, we gradually improved in terms of how we, technically execute things, which is the key to the drill. I think we've also figured out how to use the personnel that we have a little bit better. And I think that's contributed to us making more positive plays. And I think in turn the confidence grows, and that's been a good thing.
Next question is from John Zener of the Associated Press.
Yes, Coach. Attrition with the transfer portal and everything is kind of inevitable at most schools most years these days. But do you do anything different as a staff, or do you have your staff do anything different to kind of do check-ins on young players as they develop to make sure they're happy, make sure they understand the situation and everything to kind of keep them from jumping ship?
Well, I think the most important thing is relationships. I mean, if you have good relationships with the players, and the players see that they can create value in the program here, whether it's personal development, academics support, developing a career off the field, and continuing to be able to develop what they need to develop to, have a career as a football player. And this gives them the best opportunity to do it because you have good relationships with them. I think that's probably, what we really try to focus on.
Thank you.
Next question is from Bob Holt of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette.
Hey, Nick, how you doing? Hey, since this is the last coaches call of the year, I wanted to ask you something kind of, I guess, big picture about the SEC. I mean, you've won a bunch of SEC West titles, obviously, and now that the divisions are going away, just wondered in your last SEC divisional game will be against Auburn. Just wondering kind of how you felt about the divisional system and getting to win the division before you play in the title game, and then the fact that now the divisions are going away after this season.
Well, I haven't thought really much about the divisions going away after this season. When you're in the season, you're always focusing on, the next game, the next play, the next whatever. And so I haven't really thought about that. But it has been fun, to compete in the SEC, to have a division, to focus on what you have to do to try to win your division. And I'm sure it'll be a little different next year, but I haven't really given it a whole lot of thought. But still going to be about playing the best you can play and winning the games you got to play, so you put yourself in a position to be considered to play in a championship game, I guess.
And then, you've been the one constant coaching-wise in the SEC since you came to Alabama. There's been more than 50 coaching changes at the other schools. That doesn't even count interim guys at the end of the year, and now 2 more firings. Just wondering, what's it like Well, what's it been like seeing all the comings and goings and all your years there at Alabama at the other schools?
Well, I get to meet a lot of coaches. When we go to SEC Media Day and we go to SEC meetings, there's a lot of new guys in the room, and I enjoy developing relationships with all of them. But I hate to see anybody. I said this earlier in the week. I know how hard guys work to try to develop and build a program, and how difficult it can be sometimes to try to get everybody on board to try to do the things you need to do that. And you need the support of a lot of people to be able to do it. And obviously it's too bad when those things don't work out and people can't stay together to try to, build something positive.
Thanks.
Next question is from Steve Moulton of WZZN.
Coach, always appreciate the time you give us. I wanted to ask about number 17, Marshall, in terms of what kind of impact he has had on and off the field for your program this year, Coach.
Yeah, he's done a good job for us. He's been a pretty consistent player. I know he's battled a couple injuries at times, but, he works hard all the time. He sets a good example. He's become a better communicator, and we're really pleased with the progress that he's made and the contribution that he's made to our defense.
And I can't help but notice that we all see the growth out of Jalen Milroe, Coach. How much of this did you see in the spring and kind of his development here during the season, Coach?
Well, I think, we're all very pleased with, Jalen and the way he's developed throughout the course of the year, and we want to continue to help him build on that and stay focused on what's in front of him and just, sort of keep on making that kind of, developing that kind of confidence in, what's required of him to play winning football at his position.
Thank you, Coach.
Next is David Pascal of the Chattanooga Times Free Press.
Hey, Nick, the last time you played Chattanooga actually took a 3-0 lead in the second quarter. I just didn't, into the second quarter, I just didn't know what you remembered about that night.
Yeah, well, they have a good team. They're well coached. They have really good players. And I do remember that situation. I remember a lot of these games we play at the 11th game of the year after you've been playing 7 SEC games, and how difficult it is to, get your players to stay focused on this particular game and not something that's going to happen in the future. And, that's what we've tried to do with our players, for this game. So, but it is challenging. And I think our players do have respect for this team and what they've been able to accomplish and what they've been able to do, because, they got a great offensive team and they really play, good defense. So it's always a challenge.
When you talk about that challenge, does the 11 a.m. kickoff hurt as well? I mean, is it one of those typically later in the afternoon they tend to get more motivated, or have you sensed that?
Well, we played at 11 o'clock last week at Kentucky, so.
Right.
I mean, I think whatever time you play, you got to get ready to play, and it's a night game, day game, morning game. You just got to get ready to play. You know what the circumstance is, and that's, something that we need to do a good job of, the coaches, of getting guys ready to play whenever the game starts.
Thank you.
Final question is from George Somerville of The Touchdown.
Good morning, Coach. There's been a lot of commentary about the evolution of this Alabama team over the course of the season, but I'm curious at a high level how you evaluate the growth and development of the team throughout the season, and the follow-up, how proud are you of this team coming together to get to a conference championship?
Well, I've said many times before that I like, the sort of resiliency that this team has, their ability to overcome adversity, but that also comes in each individual's play of how they want to improve and create value for themselves. And I think that's one of the things that has helped us improve as a team, and I'm very proud of the team for the way they've been able to stay focused when, a lot of people wrote them off and there was a lot of negatives going on, and they just stayed, focused on what they needed to do to try to improve and get better. And that's something that I think we need to continue to do.
Thank you, Coach.
That's all the time for today, Coach. Thank you.
All right, thank you.